Hi everyone, and we're back live here at the GuideWell Connect Insights Lounge. We're at day 2 of the AHIP Institute and Expo. My name is Kate Warnock, and I'm here with my colleague, Mark Stryker.
Hi, Kate.
Mark, and we also have a wonderful guest, Mr. Eric Grossman. Eric, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Kate.
So Eric, you're welcome. Eric, you are the CEO of NextHealth Technologies, and we have a couple questions for you. Can you tell us about how NextHealth views big data in terms of its application to the health vertical?
Sure. I think it's important to sort of set some context in the time of big data. This is a crazy time in healthcare where a lot of health plans are paying out 700% of premium. So it's absolutely pivotal that we look at big data more in terms of what can it do to bend the trend. And I think big data is a long way away from behavior change. It's more about the insights you get from big data and what can an insight do to change someone's behavior. That's a long way away off from big data. We're definitely lagging in our adoption of big data, but I would say analytics is ambient in other industries, and I think that's the key word for it as a no-regret investment going forward.
Terrific. Okay, Mark.
So talk a little bit about where you started the development efforts for the organization, what you pointed out originally, and how that translates to a great business outcome for the client.
Right. I think that's the quintessential question of big data is if you do data for data's sake and you get another list and you throw it over the wall, it doesn't really go anywhere, a list of people to target. I think you have to start with the why. Why big data? And we started with avoidable ER use in the United States. It just happens to be a $38 billion annual problem. 1 in 2 visits are avoidable, and that's where we started. And to date, we're driving 1 in 4 people that we target out of the ER to more optimal care settings like urgent care, telemedicine, nurse advice line, PCP visits, preventative care, Blue 365 benefits. All those things work if you target them at the why, the business problem. Why am I going to the ER when I don't really know about alternative cost of care?
Terrific. Well, given that, then you just gave some really actionable, precise answers, but let's hear a little bit more about how you help the insurance company connect with a member to achieve that right outcome.
Right. That's the $2 trillion question that we're trying to solve with GuideWell Connect. It's not easy. There are probably 8 or 9 different departments involved in any given health plan and millions of members. So we really do 3 things for a health plan, and they're really questions. The first thing that we do is figure out who do you target? Who has a problem that can be solved? And once you find that people, you have to figure out the second question is, what do you say? And words do matter in that equation, and that's where Connect really helps us out a lot, is the message. We use the latest in behavioral economics around social framing and gain framing and delivery channels, video, email, texting. And then the third and probably the most important question is that after we reach out to these people, did it work? And how can you be certain? And we use what's called a randomized control trial and machine learning, and that allows us to determine what is the sort of the holy grail in healthcare. It's called attribution. And you've heard CNN say correlation isn't necessarily causality. We proved that it was GuideWell Connect's intervention that actually led the member outside of the ER. So it's those 3 questions, the who, the what, and the how well, that we do at scale across 30 different use cases today, including avoidable ER.
And that's the interesting piece, because you talked about attribution from a big data perspective, but that's also the holy grail of marketing, right? In terms of truly engaging with consumers out there. So when you think about the next step for the organization, so working together with you guys is great, and it's really interesting watching Eric and his team in terms of that big data attribution economy that you guys are building in there. So what's the next use case? What's the next big thing that really you look at NextHealth and say, we need to go over there because we can make a big impact?
Great question. Well, first of all, we're very much voice of the customer driven. So we look at a health plan and they tell us where they're having pain. And an area that we're just started engaging with literally this week was in narrow networks under the Affordable Care Act. A lot of the members don't necessarily understand what a narrow network means, so they go out of network. And it happens to be a very costly situation for both the member and the health plan when your deductible is typically twice what it is out of network as it is in network. And it's called surprise billing when you are encumbered with a very large bill because you went out of network. So we're working with the nation's largest health plan in a very acute market where they've had a lot of out of network to educate their members on lower cost, in-network, high-quality providers that are accepting patients.
So it sounds to me like you're really using your data insights to help bump up that health literacy, which we had another speaker address as one of that. It's just one of the foundational things that a health plan can step in, increase that understanding of their benefits so that they're going to use the plan better and really help drive that value back to them for what they're paying for. So wonderful platform that you're providing and powering with GuideWell Connect. So gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
here,
you.
Eric
Thanks,
and
Kate.
Mark. This is Kate Warnock. We're going to be up in just a moment with another interview. Please keep watching.
See you next time.